Our philanthropic impact honoree is a 15-year survivor who answers the question every year, if not me, then who? Stan Vitikas, please join us on stage. Stan has been doing grassroots fundraising by asking more than 100 people from his community, work, and family to help fund pancreatic cancer research, and by asking their employees to match their donations. He's matched funds and even volunteered time at his company in return for contributions. In the last year of fundraising, Stan has raised $115,000, and in the 8 years since his grassroots campaign began, he's raised over $500,000. Each year, Stan sets a higher goal for his friends, family, and colleagues, and he's now going to have a very special check presentation for us here. So would Dr. Von Hoff and Roger Magowitz please come back on stage for a photo? And we've got one of those really cool large checks.
First of all, I'd be remiss if I didn't thank all of the generous donors who've helped me out every year. Friends, probably 100 of them, way too many to mention, but I got to give a special shout out to Steve Rowe, Rick Gribus, Paul Scholes, Kurt, Ian, Parrish, Mark. You guys are incredibly generous, and I appreciate it from the bottom of my heart. Dean and Beth, you guys as well. Thanks for being here. It means a lot to me. My lovely fiance, Gabby, who is more beautiful on the inside, even. And then my sister, Kathy, and Jim, my brother-in-law, who couldn't make it tonight. I think you guys are watching online, so God bless you. Thank you guys for being here. It's worth noting, too, that Roger calls every one of my donors every year. Even if you give $100, he picks up the phone and calls, which is an amazing thing, and it's the ultimate personal touch, and I know it means a lot to people. I have people tell me that, Roger picked up the phone and called, so that's awesome, Roger. Thank you for doing that. I asked Roger if I could speak briefly, only if it was brief, so as Kim Kardashian said to her first husband, I won't keep you long. When I was first diagnosed some time ago, I had the Whipple surgery and I had chemoradiation, went through all that stuff and treatments, but I heard all the bad things that you hear, and I know all of you in the room can relate, right? All the pessimism, it always comes back. You might make 2 years. Nobody survives this. And so naturally, as you can imagine, I was pretty pessimistic, right? It's hard to be positive. I know you all can relate. So I went to see my surgeon for a follow-up at Mayo, and I shared with him all of my pessimism. And he looked at me and he said, and these are words I will never forget, don't believe any of that stuff. You are going to live to be 80 and die of something else. And so 16 years later, I'm halfway to 80, and I'm beginning to think he was on to something, right? So, yeah, it's been a tough journey. Thank you. As Gabby knows, it's been a tough journey. I mean, my gosh, there's been 2 Whipple surgeries, and there's been multiple bouts of pancreatitis and hospitalizations and ERCPs, stent procedures, more recently a GI bleed, and even an E. coli blood infection for good measure. Probably a few things I've forgotten, but nonetheless, I have made it through, and as I often tell Gabby, I am certain that United Health has a task force put together to get me the hell off of their insurance. But it has not worked yet. Which brings me to my point. I would like to ask all of the healthcare providers and medical professionals in attendance tonight to please stand for just a moment. all the doctors, nurses, researchers, scientists, assistants, and please continue standing for a moment. I can honestly say with certainty that I would not be here if not for the competence and compassion of people like you and yourself. I mean, you have put me back together, pieced me back together, and given me the ability to be where I'm at today. But more importantly, there are 80 other survivors in this building to whom you are a beacon of hope that shines brightly. And as a pancreas cancer patient, we know that hope is everything. And you guys provide that. So please, everyone else in the audience, I hope that you would please stand and give a loud, rousing ovation to this incredible group of people. Thank you. Thank you, Roger and Dan.